Why, hello. It's the first Wednesday of October. So, you know what that means? That means we're going to go over what we ended up picking up throughout the entire month of September. It's a good moment to reflect, to see what we ended up picking up. And maybe you ended up missing some things that you ended up wanting to know, but you forgot about it. So, let's buckle up, have some fun, and go over what we ended up picking up throughout the entire month of September. We're going to do a little orderly fashion this time around. We're going to start off with Indie, then we're going to go DC, and we're going to finish with Marvel. Heads up, this is going to be a huge haul, so buckle up, and here we. Oh, before you end up doing that, before we end up doing that, let's go visit the people over at Organic Price Books, where you can use the code Afifthofjack to save $2 off. Or if you have four or more books, you can use the code Jacket Together to save 5% off your entire order instead. Orders over $30 gets free media mail shipping, and then you get to be exposed to the bomb-proof shipping of OPB. All right, now you're here for the books, so let's cover some of the books. First book I want to be saying that this is going to be my friend Bunkmeister, because I ended up watching this when Omar ended up having the suggestion for a library, and I ended up having to pick it up because it sounded so good, and the entire console ended up going with it. But I think Bunk was the advocate for it, so picked up Blankets. And since I had Bunkmeister, I also ended up having one that's going to be an Ami Buddy special. This is one that I think he ends up loving, that I ended up also picking up. It's another soft cover, which is Rachel Rising. This is the omnibus, the paper cover, and it's a special little treat, but you'll have to wait until we go review the book to get that little special treat. Then it's spooky season, so we're going to end up having a nice spooky theme for all this entire month. So, and one of the books that we're going to be covering, Something is Killing the Children, Volume 2. That's right, we're going to cover Volume 1 and Volume 2. Let's see how that ends up finishing out. We didn't stop there. We ended up picking up Once in the Future, Volume 2. And another nice little spoiler that's going to be part of our big event is going to be Geiger. This is the in-stock trades one. So that's something that's about this book. Wrapping up our indies is probably the biggest book that we have throughout the haul. Well, at least size-wise. What is that? Well, that's the 6th volume of Invincible, the library edition. Has a nice little slipcase. Some awesome action that we have there. Please don't break my table. Throughout the entire month of September. Woo! That's a list of books. But for DC, we picked up a couple little books. We picked a deluxe copy of Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duel. Been intrigued to read this because it's Mark Silvestri doing the art and the story. I kind of known him for like Wolverine, so I wanted to see how you end up doing with Batman. And finally, but not least, a Jake special is Batman, The Rise and the Fall of the Batmen. It's a James Tynion, and I think Jake from Brave and the Boys heavily loved that book and kind of suggested it as a go-to Batman book. Eventually, we'll end up getting there. Okay, that wraps up DC. So, that means we have Marvel. We have a whole lot of Marvel. So, if you don't mind, we're going to get a little bit more age with this because we picked up the paper copy of Avengers Twilight. A Chip Zdarsky story. This is going to be also read at some point, not this month because obviously it's not spooky. But I would love trying to compare that to Kingdom Come because it seems like there are similar stories. And oh my goodness, did we swing into action this month? Swinging into action, I mean, we swung hard this time around because we got a whole bunch of Spidey books. Starting off with Spider-Man, the Complete Costume Saga. This is a direct market cover, and I had to pop it open to see what kind of mistakes that we have. This does have a missing page, and there are a couple of them that ended up missing, like 17 pages, I think it was, or a complete comic. And, well, we were lucky that we dodged that big bullet, but we all got hit with the little bullet of missing a page. But you can end up finding that in Spider-Man versus Venom Omnibus. The gravy train of Spider-Man keeps on going with Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 4. So this wraps up the Ultimate Spider-Man for us because we have Death in the Family in the collection. So it's another one that just got finished. And you thought we were done with Spidey, but we have tons more action yet because we ended up picking up, I know, this is going to be rough, but we picked it up from Bad Wolf Comics, is the Clone Saga Volume 1. We ended up having to fill that hole, and as eventually, this is something I'm going to end up reading because I never read it, and I heard that early on it was pretty good, but then it dragged too long. And talking about dragging too long, we ended up picking up Volume 2 of the Clone Saga. So we picked up the entire Clone Saga, filling that hole that we ended up having in our collection. Oh, okay, this all has no end in sight. Talking about sight, we ended up picking up Bendis, Daredevil, Volume 1. This is a standard cover. And our final book is probably the chunkiest one that we end up having out of this entire haul. It was close with the Clone Saga and stuff like that. But we also picked up a direct market cover of X-Men Mutant Massacre, that prelude. So this is before Mutant Massacre. This also means that we're not going to go over and pick up the X Factor Omnibus or pick up Uncanny X-Men Volume 5. Our game plan is that we're going to go 1 through 4 of Uncanny, and then we're also going to pick up the story omnibuses, and that's how we're going to collect our X-Men. Why? Well, I'll be completely honest with you. I have no interest in the X Factor, really, and I want to stay in the main line of the X-Men. All right, give me a moment. Let me get it all set up, and we can go for our final shot of the books that we ended up picking up. And, oh my goodness, I'm going to be looking forward to holding all this up. Houston, we have a problem. It doesn't fit. Whew. So as you can see, it doesn't fit the camera view. I think that's the biggest haul that we ended up picking up, or at least the heaviest haul. If you want to have a haul of your own, go visit Organic Price Books. Use the code Afifthofjack to save $2 off. But if you have 4 or more books, use that code Jacket Together to save 5% off your entire order instead. You can end up picking up a whole bunch of books, a whole bunch of savings, and it helps you, helps us, and helps the folks over at OPB to just review what we ended up picking up. We picked up the Library Edition, Volume 6 of Invincible, Batman, The Rise and Fall of Batman, Spider-Man, The Complete Black Costume Saga, Avengers Twilight, X-Men, Prelude to the Mutant Massacre, Spider-Man, The Clone Saga, Volume 1 and Volume 2, Daredevil by Bendis, Volume 1, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 4, and then we also got some more indie action with the Something Is Killing the Children, Volume 2, which is going to be in this month's video list, so stay tuned to be able to see that. And we also picked up Once in the Future. Oh man, I say and once or too many times. Geiger, which is also another book that we're going to be featuring this month. Blankets, and Rachel Rising, another book that we're going to be featuring this month in our entire videos of October. Yes, October has a lot of videos that we're going to go over. We're going to be trying to do a whole bunch of videos that are comic oriented. So let me know what you think about that. Put it down in the comments down below. And of course, thank you for watching. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.